Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with last night's AEW Dynamite broadcast live on TBS and Max from the Knoxville Civic Coliseum in Knoxville, Tennessee. In the main event, Adam Copeland defeated Pac. After the match, the Death Riders ambushed Copeland with Jay White attempting to make the save, but Jon Moxley choked out Copeland to end the show.
And now the Bulldog choke. It's locked in by Moxley.
It's easy to do it now after this match that he had, and when you got so many people helping you in the ring.
You like it? Yeah, and that's a dangerous hold, especially after your neck is banged up dealing with Pac in the match. Cope is fading away, getting choked out. Yeah, it's not just about how it restricts the blood flow in the carotid artery. It's about the damage, the pressure applied to the neck, that surgically repaired neck of Copeland.
I will break it!
It was also revealed after the match that the Death Riders had tied up FTR and the Rock and Roll Express backstage. Kenny Omega was confronted by Will Ospreay during a promo segment to start the show. The two wound up brawling all over the building with the Don Callis family, leading to a match being made for Grand Slam featuring Omega and Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. The AEW World Tag Team title changed hands on the show, with Bobby Lashley teaming with Shelton Benjamin to defeat Private Party. The win marked the first tag team title of Lashley's career. Benjamin joins FTR as the only wrestlers to hold a World Tag Team title in AEW, WWE, and Ring of Honor. During an in-ring promo segment, Jeff Jarrett was laid out by Claudio Castagnoli, who said Jarrett would have to defeat him next week to get a shot at AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. In other results, MJF cut a promo on Jarrett, Jamie Hayter pinned Julia Hart, and Swerve Strickland topped AR Fox. In TNA news, on Wednesday, the company announced on social media that TNA would be headed to Full Sail University in Orlando for a live episode of Impact on Thursday, February 20th. February's show also marks the second live edition of Impact, as tonight's show in San Antonio will also be airing live. Tickets for the live Impact on February 20th, as well as TV taping set for February 21st, go on sale today. Full Sail University housed NXT television from May 2012 through September 2020, when WWE moved the tapings into their own performance center in Orlando. And finally, in ratings news, Tuesday's edition of NXT brought in 777,000 viewers to the CW, according to WrestleNomics. That's slightly less than last week's audience of 779,000. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .20, which was up from last week's demo rating of .17. Saturday's Maximum Carnage edition of Collision drew an audience of 342,000 to TNT, according to Figure 4 Online. That's an increase from the previous week's audience of 337,000. The 18 to 49-year-old demo rating for the show was a .10, which was slightly up from the previous week's rating of .09. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.